everyone tired on the last day? I'm just wiped. So forgive me if I'm a little slow and unexcited, but I am excited to be here and to talk with you. We are here to talk about Shoujo for guys. This is kind of what I like to call one of those opinion panels, where one guy gets up front and spouts his opinion at you. But I don't want to just do that, because this is supposed to be kind of a learning thing. Because at one point I was a guy, and I was like, Shoujo, I'm not going to watch that. So, you know, I was like, Shoujo, really? I'm not going to watch it. And then there was a series, which I'll get to at some point, that I watched. And I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. I should watch more. And, you know, I figured there's probably more people out there like me that were like, really? I don't know about Shoujo. So we're here to talk about Shoujo and what that is, what that means, what kind of series involve Shoujo elements, what you should be watching, what you could watch, what you have watched. So feel free to raise your hand anytime, comment. At the end, I will ask you what your personal favorite series are. They might not match up with mine. But let's get right to it. So welcome to the panel. Let's go through a few rules just for the sake of, you know, being polite, having fun. Ask questions, please. I'm always so happy to answer anything you have. Please offer your opinion. I don't want to be like in control of the room at all times. I want to hear what you guys think. So raise your hand so I know if you want to talk. And please avoid spoilers. Yes?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay, I will speak up or I will use the mic. Is the mic on?
Thank you.
Is the mic on? No. Let me get someone to turn the mic on.
Test.
Hello.
There goes.
Hello. Hello. Is that working?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, wonderful. A little more.
Try it.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Loud and clear?
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's what I like to hear. Okay. Now we're in business. Okay. So first, I want to do a little discussion. What exactly is shoujo? I believe the dictionary technical definition is the term shoujo manga, refers to manga or anime marketed to a female audience roughly between the ages of 10 and 18. So, what does that mean to you? What do you think? What elements do you usually want or see from shoujo?
Romance.
Of course.
One element I usually see is a little bit more character development than more shoujo.
That is a very good point. I would agree with that as well. Anyone else?
I like a nice relaxed slice of life kind of feel with a little bit of romance.
That is a good as well. What I mean is pretty much matches up with you. Heavy romance element. Of course, someone's going to be falling in love with someone else. Generally, there's a female heroine, or a main character is a she. Also, love triangles, those are pretty popular. A feminine perspective. What I mean when I say that is oftentimes it'll kind of give you more of a look at what the girl is thinking, even if she's not the main character, or more of an approach, not necessarily from a guy's side, where it's like all action, all pumped up, you know. Like you said, a little more slice of life, a little more easy, relaxed. So what's not true for everyone are traditional gender stereotypes. I mean, you got guys who like action, adventure, and violence, and girls who like drama, romance, and fantasy. But it goes both ways. Guys can like girl stuff, girls can like guy stuff. So, what are any other thoughts on elements in shoujo or other specific genres or expectations or stereotypes? Anybody? Go for it.
Off the magic.
Magic? Magic's good. We also see a lot of those. Magical girls. Big fan of those. All right, so with that out of the way, what can you expect from this panel? We're going to talk about plot, characters, and I'm going to show you some trailers. From a few select series that I like, they're listed up here. See something you might have seen or haven't seen. If you haven't seen it, that's such a great thing, because I want people to learn more about these shows that they might not have heard of before. So, without further ado, my goals are to introduce something new to you, or reintroduce something to you, if you've already seen it, and to find a middle ground. So, I know a lot of people come in here and they go, Shoujo, and they have a really specific envisionment of what that is. And we may differ a little from that. Since this is Shoujo for guys, I'm trying to go for balance, either between romantic elements and some action, or romantic elements and comedy. Comedy, you will see, is actually a very good motivator for a guy to watch a show, at least in my opinion. Please remember that comments are always welcome, and questions are as well. So, let's get started. This is the vision of Escaflone. I think this is a really good starting point because it's classic, vintage, 1996. All right, I'll keep going.
Ignore the people behind the table.
Ignore the man behind the curtain. All right, so the primary genres in this are adventure, drama, romance, and mecha, which you may go, what, mecha, really? Yeah, this is a show that's actually about... Yes, go for it.
Yeah, of course, there's a big problem. Some North American licensors is they're trying to take the shoujos and make them more shonen.
Yes.
That's why
This-
Escaflone on Fox was a
This is something that
failure.
happened to Escaflone.
This is a big reason why Card Captors is so despised.
That's something that
Especially
you will find
because
a
the
lot.
first episode is not the first episode.
Right, right.
It's like the 8th episode.
It's kind of funny because I remember when I was a kid and I'd watched WB and I thought Card Captors was the most awesome thing ever. Probably because they re-edited it to be targeted at guys. But then I watched the original and I was like, it's still cool. In fact, it's probably even better.
Right.
So Escaflone was much the same. It aired on Fox.
I mean,
And was,
to give an example of how exactly all this can work, let's use My Little Pony.
My Little Pony. That's another one. I don't know much about My Little Pony, but I'm aware of the...
Jen?
Go.
Exactly, you need to be a girl.
Project for a second, okay.
Yeah, like from the diaphragm.
From the diaphragm. Can you still hear me? All right, so what is Escaflone about? Well, let me give you a brief summary. One day, there's this girl. Her name's Hitomi Kanzaki, and she is in high school, and she runs on the track team. So one day, she's running on the track team, and stuff happens, and she ends up in the magical world of Gaia. Gaia is a strange planet where Earth is their moon. So you can see Earth, but when you're on
And the
Earth, you
moon.
can't see Gaia. But she meets a young prince whose name is Van Fanel, from the kingdom of Fenalia, and his kingdom is attacked by the evil Zybok Empire, and she basically gets stuck on this journey with Van and his companions as they go and they try and defeat the Zybok Emperor and make things a little more peaceful in Gaia. But the key to Hitomi is that she kind of has some psychic powers. She's really into like tarot cards and telling your fortune, and she's got a pendant that will, I can't remember, she swings it and it kind of points in the direction that they want to go. They use it as kind of like a compass sort of thing. But her powers are very vested in Gaia. So those are our main characters. Hitomi, she's 15. She has a strong fascination with tarot cards, as I said, and she received them from her grandmother. And Van is our main male character, sorry. And he was 5 years old. His father died of unknown causes, and his brother Falcon was given the task to become the king. And what you have to do is you have to go kill a dragon. And he disappeared, so they thought he died. And so a few years later, Van tried to kill the dragon, and that's actually the event that sparked Hitomi coming to Gaia, was because the dragon showed up in Earth, and it was a crazy adventure that they go on. So, why would you like it? Well, from a guy perspective, it does have a fair amount of action, and it does have mecha. When I say mecha, I usually think giant robots, but these aren't really giant robots. They're giant suits of armor that move. So literally, he sits inside, and there's kind of mechanisms that he can use to move it. And it does transform into a dragon, which is really cool. So there's your guy perspective. from the girl perspective, you have the main character, Hitomi. And she's in high school, she has feelings, she's actually in love with this guy, and in the first episode, she tries to make a bet that if she can run the 100-meter dash faster than he can, she gets a kiss. Unfortunately, during that 100-meter dash is when she gets sucked into Gaia. Fortunately, there's a guy in Gaia that looks exactly like the guy that she likes, but it's not the same guy. So you can see already, we've got those elements that are really confusing. Do I like the guy that I'm supposed to like on Earth, even though it's not the same guy? Or do I like this nice young prince who slayed the dragon and has a giant robot? I don't know. I don't know. So, that's the gist of it. Has anyone seen Escaflone? Who likes it a lot? I do. Does anyone have any comments they'd like to share with everyone? No? Go for it, sir.
Yeah, this show was designed from the ground up to appeal to both genders. Like many shoujo series, the main protagonist is female, and that's who the audience is supposed to identify with. It was shown in the main character is usually male. The two main characters in this series, Vaughn and Hitomi, they're male and female. So yeah, that's how it was designed. It's from a studio called Sunrise. They make Gundam, so it has a lot of those similar elements, but the designs are a little more shoji.
Yes, they got the big pretty eyes, and
So that's how it was designed.
that's why I think it's one of those great. It's exactly as you said. It's a middle ground show, which I think is wonderful. It's got elements that, and it blends it so well. Like that's something you wouldn't expect from a show. Anyone else have another comment? Oh,
Eat the mic.
eat the mic. We got the mic back. Yay! All right, so let's move on. Oh, here's a trailer.
High school can be a pretty tough time.
Started already?
But what would happen if your life suddenly turned down? With the help of the swordsman Vaughn and the suit of armor Escaflone, they embark upon a long journey, accompanied by friends and allies, all the while chased by deadly enemies.
You don't charge aggressively enough.
Stop! Don't be foolish!
I won't run. I'll never turn my back on an enemy and run away.
Hitomi must use her mysterious powers if this world is to survive the evil empire of Saibon.
Set it all on fire! We're going to smoke out Escaflone!
Created by Shoji Kawamori, music by Yoko Kanno. What secrets lay within Escaflone, and with it, Hitomi's future?
Could he be the one?
Okay, so now you get a sense of what I was talking about that whole time.
Oh yeah, has a cat girl.
And it has a cat girl. I forgot about that. Merlin was very awesome. Yes, sir.
Just one last comment for me. They have the big shoujo eyes, which is how you
Yes.
form kind of the emotional connection with the characters.
And I also like the always constant halo around the hair. Makes them look really pretty. All right, so where can I get this series? Well, it's on DVD thanks to Bandai Entertainment. They have the Super Legends Kali Collection, which is on Bandai's. I think they have their own short store on their website where you can get it, or $30 at Right Stuff, or $1 cheaper on Amazon, whatever you prefer. It's very well worth the investment. It's 26 episodes, very awesome.
Or you can get it at FYE.
Or FYE.
Used.
Used. I'm sure you can get lots of places. It's on DVD. It's also an old series, so. All right, so I'm sure many of you know what this is. Tsubasa Chronicle. Yay! We're specifically talking about the anime, which I think is a little more shoujo-esque in my opinion than the manga, which can be a little more violent and bloody.
Because it is clamped.
Because it is clamped, and it will screw with your mind. The anime, however, is kind of nice. I'm strictly talking, well, no, I'm not talking about the first season, because I mentioned the second season up here, even though I didn't finish the second season. Too much filler for me. Sorry. And the OVAs as well, which are the more faithful to the manga and therefore more violent, but still involve a very heavy romantic element. Vintage 2005, so it's not that old. Primary genre, adventure, drama, fantasy, action, romance, and of course magic. So what's it about? Well, this is kind of complicated, but I'll give it my best shot. So, Sakura is this girl that's a princess, and one day she goes into this underground ruins that her friend Ouran is investigating, and she activates some sort of magic. I don't really explain it. She has feather wings that somehow have something to do with space-time, and they all vanish into different dimensions, and then she loses her heart. And so Ouran has to go save her, and the magician sends her to the Dimensional Witch, which is Yuko from the counter series, or the series that goes along with it, Holic, even though you don't have to watch or read that to understand this. And the main point of the series is to get the feathers back to regain Sakura's heart. But the sad thing is according to the witch, in order to gain the ability to travel through dimensions, Sakura will not remember who Ouran is. It just makes you go, oh. So, it can be pretty intense. They also travel along with Kurogane the swordsman and Fi the magician, who also are on their own little separate journeys, but they all go together. Ouran is our main male character. He is a resident of Cloud Kingdom, and his father, I think he's adopted, but he's kind of a commoner guy, but he knows the princess, he's got hookups, but he doesn't want to move in on that. But Sakura may have other ideas. Sakura is, of course, the princess, and her brother is the current king, and her brother is kind of a meanie, but will protect her when it comes down to it. So she's unconscious, unfortunately, for a very first part of the series. Then she wakes up, and then you gotta find out what happens in the drama aspect there. Why would you like it? Well, again, this is a series that has a balance between action elements and shoujo elements, so guys and girls. In that sense, I think it's a very compelling romantic aspect just because you have the main conflict where Sakura's not going to remember who he is, but obviously he's still in love, and maybe those feelings will come back out. Who knows? So it's got that nice drama, romantic element, and of course, there's the Bishi Boys. You can't forget those. You sir.
And it's clamping, so you can see alternate versions of many of your favorite characters.
Yes, that's the other thing I forgot to mention is, of course, Sakura is an alternate version of the Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura, which of course is a Magical Girl show that I'm sure you all know. So, here's a little trailer.
There's something important I've been wanting to tell you.
Ouran is her other, the one destined to be at Sakura's side. All of her memories from birth to present have left her now. A body with no heart is just an empty shell. Without those memories, the princess will die.
Isn't there anything I can do to help her?
The shards of her memory, which have been strewn throughout time and space, must be found and returned. Each feather was a separate memory. Find them all, and you will save her life. However, a price must be paid. No matter how many of her memories you retrieve, Sakura will never remember the bond you had between you or what you have been to each other. She won't remember you. Clamp presents Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle.
You just love it. It's Clamp Presents. That's the sell point there. Great. Where can I get it? DVD, Blu-ray, Funimation, multiple releases. Season 1, Season 2, complete collection, movie. It's also streaming for free on Funimation website and YouTube and probably Hulu and probably Netflix and probably all those streaming sites that you don't love. The manga is also available from Dell/Nansha. I recommend that too, if you're into that. Before I get to that, any comments from the audience about Tsubasa? Go for it.
So far from what I've seen, it just really does appeal to me because it's not just super cutesy and super romantic drama. It's also really action-packed and it's just all well rounded out. It's just amazing.
That's the interesting thing about my setup here is I started middle ground, but I'm going to try and go more on one side, and that's the shoujo side. So I do agree with you. This isn't really super cutesy. The romance is there, but it is very action-driven, even more so in the manga. Any other comments? Go for it.
Well, Clan, everyone's familiar with them, a group of women. They got their start doing shoujo manga primarily, but these days a lot of their stories are published in shonen magazines. I think Tsubasa is the same. So they're bringing storytelling techniques that are common in shoujo and putting them in, combining them with shonen elements. And that's what this.
That's a great way
really
to kind of put it. Is they started with shoujo and now they're shonen, but the shoujo is still kind of there.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one is a series that I'm not sure how many of you have heard of. I don't know how well known it is in Japan either, but it is called Cross Game. It is by, I can't remember the manga artist's name, but he's pretty famous. He did Touch and Whistle, but not Whistle. Touch and another one that's pretty popular. But let's get into it. It's a 50-episode TV series. It's relatively new, 2009. The primary genres are, of course, drama, romance, sports, and that school slice of life type stuff. It is about baseball, but I will tell you right now that although the story is focused and centered around baseball, they don't actually play baseball that much. There will be a few episodes, and that tournament, the play is actually very cool. But don't go into this thinking it's all baseball all the time, because it's not. So what's it about? Well, I have to be very careful with this, because there are a lot of surprises like right in the first episode, and I don't want to ruin anything for you. So I have been intentionally vague, so if you are confused, go watch the series. But here's the basic gist of it. Ko Kitamura lives next door to the Tsukishima family, and they own the batting center, and the Clover Cafe, and his family owns the sports store. So they grew up together, this family, and these two families. Ko is a young boy, and the Tsukishima family has 4 young girls, or of various ages. One's like the elder sister, middle sister, youngest sister. So Ko is in this relationship with Wakaba, and then there's the other one who is kind of like the baseball freak of the family. Her name's Alba, and she's always mad at Ko because Ko is spending so much time with Wakaba, and she's just so jealous that he gets to spend all this time with her sister. And they kind of have a rivalry thing going because she plays baseball, and he's kind of into baseball. And Wakaba encourages this. She says, Ko, one day you're going to go to Koshien, which is the big high school championship in Japan, and you're going to hit a home run in that center. And so he works towards this dream. He secretly trains. He actually copies Alba's secret training regimen and does it on his own. Alba's a pitcher, and so Ko also aims to be a pitcher, and so he practices his pitching. So when they get to high school, Ko joins the team, and everyone's kind of surprised at his abilities, especially Alba. So who are our main characters? Well, like I said, Ko's the young man who is the main character. He likes baseball, though he doesn't admit to liking it. He's often very, like he says, I say at the end here, he describes himself as having no self-confidence and being an excellent liar. So that kind of, makes you wonder. So Alba is the main female character. She's 1 year younger than Ko and Wakaba. She's kind of seen as a tomboy, but she does have her cutesy moments. But mostly she's pretty hardcore baseball. The problem with this is that she really likes baseball, but she can't actually go to Koshien because I believe it's a male-only thing. I don't know why. This is not really explained to me. So she can't enter official games as a pitcher, but Ko can. So a lot of people speculate that she's actually living her dream through Ko. And that's why, even though they have this rivalry thing going, she's always trying to help him. And so there's kind of a lot of interesting character, like someone said earlier, shoujo are well known for character development. This show has it. You will get to know the characters and remember their names and feel what they feel. So why would you like it? Well, it's a series that excels at meshing genres together, particularly the school life with the romance, with the sports. I guess some sports are more hardcore, some sports are more shonen, like slam dunk, major. There's lots of series like those where it's a bunch of guys going at it, This is not. This is relationships, love, and baseball at the same time. So, here's a little trailer.
H2 の足立みつるが送る2009年最高のラブストーリー。あの夏、止まったままの時間が動き始める。
Even described it as the ultimate love story. I know the character designs are a little weird. It took me a while to get used to them too, but it's well worth it. And they're not kids. They're kids in the beginning, but there is a little bit of a time skip when they go to high school and they're gonna look all adult and stuff. Great, where can I get it? Viz has a license to this, but it's not on DVD, but it does stream for free on Viz website, Hulu, Anime News Networks, all the other websites. The manga is also available from Viz. The anime is very faithful. It's pretty much exactly the same. The anime has a bit faster pacing, especially in the beginning, but they're pretty much exactly the same. DVDs may be available. If it's popular enough, go check it out. Tell Viz you like it, you know? Has anyone seen Cross Game besides me? What do you think? Give me an opinion here.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil it too much.
I know, right? It's hard.
I don't know. It's just the emotional writing.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone else? Comment? All right, I'll move on. Oh, here we go. I love this one. This is Sora no Wani Wani. This one's very short, probably not well heard of. I actually didn't watch it for quite a while myself, but it's a 12-episode TV series, which is 2009, so again, it's pretty new. Again, this is kind of similar. It's comedy, romance, school life, but instead of baseball, we have astronomy. Whoa. Whoa, man. I don't know if I've seen an anime about astronomy before. Well, what's it about? Well, the story revolves around this guy named Saku Oyagi. He's a bookworm. He loves to read. Like, he will stay inside and read all the time. But he lived in this town, and he had this friend named Mihoshi, and she was crazy about astrology because her dad was an astrologist. And so Mihoshi...
Astrologer?
Huh?
Dad's astrologist, astrologer?
Yeah. Astrologer. I guess, is that the appropriate term?
Astrologers, you study the planets and all that. Astrologists, you study like the zodiac and how things are.
I think it's more the zodiac, I'm not sure.
Okay,
but anyway, Mihoshi always takes Saku and drags him out of his bed and takes him outside to go look at stars and have fun adventures when he just wants to read. So one day, he moves away, and it's kind of sad. But he moves back 7 years later, I think. But it's when they're in high school. So he moves back, and he goes to high school, and he's kind of thinking about Mihoshi, and he's like, oh, I wonder if she's still here. I don't know. And then day one, she's on top of the roof of the school building, throwing paper stars, trying to advertise to get people to join this astronomy club that she started, because she's so passionate. And he goes, whoa, and he tries to hide his identity because he doesn't want her to find him and get him to join this club. But that's what happens. He ends up in this club because they need members, because they have to have a minimum of 4. So, Saku wants to join the book club, but he ends up joining the astrology club, and so they have lots of fun adventures. I should also mention, I wrote it down in there, that there is a freshman, what's her name? Hime. And she actually is in Saku's class and totally has a crush on him. And she joins this astronomy club just to get with him, even though there's kind of a rumor spreading around the school ever since Mihoshi tracked down Saku, since they're in different classes, that they have something going on. So there's totally the love triangle thing going on here. So who are our characters? Well, like I said, Saku is a bookworm. He enjoys, he also enjoys writing, I should mention that. But he wants to join the literature club, but he doesn't have much luck with that since Mihoshi drags him into the astrology club. Mihoshi, like I said, she's a cheerful girl, 1 year older than him, is really crazy about the stars, will throw paper stars from the roof of the building, but she's thrilled to be reunited with him. She has another close friend and a of course the president of the astrology club, who's graduating in the next year, so they have to deal with that. Why would I like it? Why would you like it? Why did I like it? I liked it because, well, it's slice of life, so it's a nice pace, 12 episodes. There's, of course, the plot thread that kind of the survival of the club. They have to have those members, they have to get a new president, and but like I said, there's the romance element, and that plays really heavily in this. The developing relationship between Mihoshi and Saku as they kind of get over the troubles they had in the past, because Saku left without saying goodbye all those years ago. And they get into all that, and it's very compelling, but also very fun, and you will learn about astrology, because they do actually talk a lot about the stars and constellations, and it's actually quite pretty. I like the animation of this as well. Here's a little trailer. I think this one doesn't have subs, so sorry about that, but you'll get the point anyway.
皆さん、星いいですか？天文部は今部員を大募集中です。一緒に星を見ませんか
7年ぶりに帰ってきたこの町で再会した幼なじみ明野美星。みーちゃん。
さくちゃん。
遭遇したてで潰れかけの天文部に入部してしまった俺、大八木作の天文部ライフ。
お星様の光だよ。パパがくれたの。小さい頃、パパが初めて見せてくれた星空。目の前に広がる天の川はびっくりするほど大きくて、じっとしていると吸い込まれそうだった。だからみんなに見上げてほしいんだ。私が感動したこの空を。天文部へようこそ。
空のマニマニ2009年夏スタート。
Okay, so this is the sad part. Where can I get it? Well, you can't. It's not licensed in America, either the anime or the manga, or I think it's actually based on flight novels, correct me if I'm wrong. But the Japanese Blu-ray can be imported if you're desperate. It doesn't come with English subs. But your best bet is to contact your favorite licensor, Funimation, Viz. Send them a name. Say, hey, I want to see this. They do listen to their fans, particularly Funimation. I don't know so much about Viz, but it's worth a shot. You know, it sounds like something they might go for. But it's only 12 episodes, so hey, you have a good shot. Maybe they'll be interested if enough people say, hey, I want to see this. So yeah, has anyone actually seen it besides me? What do you think, sir?
Average at best.
Average at best. All right, that's fair perspective. Anyone else have a comment? Go for it. All right. It's not great. I will admit to that. I like it because it's I find it kind of unique, and I like the characters a lot. But it's worth watching, definitely. All right, Nodame Cantabile. I don't know how many of you have heard of this, but again, this is one of those my really favorite ones. It seems like every time I introduce one of these, it's the same thing. Comedy, romance, a slice of life, but instead it's music. I love music. This is classical music too, so we can talk violins, pianos, wonderful, awesome stuff. This one's quite long too. 23 episode TV series plus season 2 plus season 3 plus OVAs. Wow, really long. 2007, so it's not that old. What's it about? Well, Chucky is our main character. He is a first-class musician who excels at, I believe, piano and violin. And he came from a pretty distinguished family, but he's highly critical of himself. He wants to be a really good musician. And his motivation for this is actually he wants to go be he wants to be conducted by this, or be a conductor. So one of his role models is this conductor who lives in Europe. And Chucky actually lives in Europe for a short time before coming back to Japan. And he ends up going to a music university where he meets this strange girl. Her name is Nodame, otherwise known as Nodame. She is really weird. She makes noises randomly, like those anime characters that you see in some shows. And she plays piano with her eyes closed and gets really into it. And he thinks that's really weird, especially because she has a lot of latent talent that she doesn't realize. And he wants to bring that out. So the main plot element here is Chiaki and Nodame and other friends he meets go to this music school. And it's a pretty intense music school. I don't know if anyone's been to music school, but my impression is that it's very strict. You have to go to classes and you have to practice, and be good at what you do if you wish to succeed in the music world. And later series, they actually go from school to like graduate school and Paris and all this exciting places. So, a little bit more about our characters. These are college characters what I'm talking about, not high school. So, Nodame's 20, she's a second year music student. She's depicted as a complete slob, like really. Chiaki's kind of a perfectionist, so the first time he walks into her room and it's full of trash, he has to clean it up. He's like OCD. So, she also forgets to cook for herself, so she often will bum her food off Chiaki. There's a lot of funny comedy plot points between these two characters. Nodame has a tendency to speak cryptically. Sometimes she doesn't even understand herself. She often refers to herself in the third person and uses nonsense words like "yeah" and "gebble." So, Chiaki's 21, a year older. He's a third-year piano student. Like I said, he's strict with himself. He's really strict with others because he really wants perfection from people. But he kind of softens up after a while. But his main goal is to be a conductor, so he can study abroad and meet his mentor again after so many years. However, I should mention, the other plot point in this is that Chiaki is horrified of flying. So he is stuck in Japan because he has this horrible, horrible fear of flying because something bad happened. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you'll find out if you watch. Why would I like it? Well, because it's good. I know that's not very descriptive, but let me start off by saying the animation is really solid. If you love classical music, you will love this because they actually do play classical music pieces, and they are oftentimes not the full piece, but you will get a good chunk of it with very pretty bows. In fact, did anyone go to the EMV contest? If you saw the very first video, the very first one, with the violin and the piano, that was Nodame Cantabile. Yeah, so if you saw that nice smooth animation, you know what I'm talking about.
I didn't see that in the AMV contest, but at the 100 degree AMV, that was the last video you showed.
Yeah. Also, again, comedy is a heavy element here. So this is a good one of those romance shows it's got a fair amount of drama, especially in later seasons, because there are relationship stuff to deal with, but it's always funny. They are always engaging and silly, and it's very compassionate. It's great. Unfortunately, I do not have a really solid trailer to show you. I have a Japanese commercial that's about 20 seconds long, and it's all I could find. I really wish I had more, but this will at least show you what the characters look like, and you'll get to hear them talk for maybe a sentence. Right, so, tell me, where can I get it? Well, this is one that's kind of in limbo. The first 13 episodes were streaming on Sony's website called Crackle, because there was a dub version of it that aired on Animax. However, they took those down a while ago for the US. Like, it's still on there on Crackle, but if you go and click, it'll say, you're not in the right region. But they were up there, and I did watch them for a short time. So if you wait, maybe they'll come back. Or maybe you email Sony and say, hey, I want to watch this again. The manga, however, which is also, again, this is a very faithful adaptation, so it's pretty much, like I said, later seasons kind of sped up because they're shorter, but if you want in on this, your best bet is the manga, because it's fully available from Del Rey Kodansha. There is also a Japanese live-action series and movie, no license for those, but they're interesting and very popular, I'm sure. Has anyone seen Nodame Cantabile? Would you like to say anything about it?
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. I'd love to hear it. Anyone else have a comedy? Funny. Again, a comedy, I really stress that here, but it's also very romantic. All right. I'm sure I'm going to run out of time before I get to all these. All right, so you remember way back at the beginning, I said I was a guy that didn't really care for shoujo. This is a series that kind of did it for me. My friend was using an avatar of Tamaki, and he was kind of hidden behind this couch and had really creepy eyes. And I just refused to watch it. I said, your avatar is so creepy, I'm not gonna watch it. And she's like, no, you have to watch this, it's hilarious. And eventually I broke down and I said, all right, I will watch Ouran High School Host Club. And oh my God, I have not regretted that decision ever. Because that is what led into Nodame and Cross Game and all these other things that I would not normally go out of my way for, but I did because I said, you know, this love thing isn't so bad. They do it pretty well. Ouran is pretty interesting. It's a 26 episode series, 2006. Comedy, drama, school life, reverse harem. Hooray! What's it about? Well, I'm sure for most of you, I'm sure like 99%, I don't need to explain this, but Haruhi's a poor tomboy school girl who goes to this fancy upscale school because she has a scholarship. She ends up walking in on this club, which is the host club. If you don't know what host clubs are, in Japan they usually have a bunch of pretty guys that will wait on the girls, or I think they have vice versa. Anyway, she walks in, she breaks a vase and owes lots of money. So they say, well, you're so tomboyish, you kind of look like a guy, so you're going to work as a host.
Actually, they first thought she was a guy.
Yeah, well, they thought she was a guy. Except someone figured it out, like, right away.
The little guy.
There's a running joke in that whole first episode where there's this little thing that pops up when they get it. It's really funny. Of course, our main characters are Haruhi. She's very smart, very astute, very serious. I really like her because in this show, she's kind of like the straight man. They will be really funny and she will just be like, you're stupid, or, you know, you shouldn't be doing that, or, you know, she always has the straight man face, which I just love.
Yeah, I remember one deal was like, I guess some other girl was kidnapped her, and so the other guy's going jag, and she just laughs her head up. And one thing I say like about Haruhi, although she's a little tomboy, she's still rather good at cooking. And
yes.
I think I love her.
Haruhi does have her female.
There's something about Haruhi. Eventually, she doesn't really fit a stereotype. They just let Haruhi be Haruhi.
Our other main character, of course, Tamaki, who is the head of the host club. He's the founder and president of it. He's kind of flamboyant, narcissistic, but dedicated as a host. He is the princely type, who is really pretty and will treat you like a princess. He's partial to classical music and plays it well. He's actually half Japanese and half French. Fancy. So, why did I like it? Again, I don't really think I have to explain this very well. It's hilarious. You will laugh a lot. But there's also the romantic element. Especially, like, there was a panel here dedicated to figuring out who Haruhi should be with. It was called Haruhi's Heart. I mean, there's all these male characters and there's Haruhi. Of course, there is a main pairing, I believe in this. In my opinion, there's, you know, it ends, there is an ending, at least in the anime. I know the manga continues on, and you should read that too, probably. But Ouran's well known for its great animation. This is Studio Bones. They do great work.
Oh, actually, there is also love triangle.
There is love triangle business. There's lots of hijinks. You will love it. Here's a trailer. I apologize for the poor quality, but this is from Funimation, so.
Welcome, poor man, to our world with beauty. Starting today, you are an official member of the host club. A host? Back to us, I please. She's so popular. She's reached out to the world. Are you? Ouran High School Host
now on DVD.
There you go, Brett.
Where can I get it? Oh, Funimation has it
Netflix.
everywhere. Everywhere. Every streaming site, I guarantee you will find it. You can buy it on DVD or Blu-ray, 50 bucks for my stuff, or Amazon, or wherever. The manga, which is longer, is available over Viz. All right. How many of you have seen Ouran? I just wanted, for the sake of clarity. All right. See, I knew it would be a lot of you. Does anyone want to mention something real quick? Because I'm going to run out of time if I don't get the rest of them. Go for it.
Japanese version's better. Yes, the voices are better in Japanese.
All right, that's a fair point. I watch Japanese myself, but no bias here. Go.
If you played the PlayStation 2 game, she winds up with Tamaki.
All right.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a live action.
There is. I forgot to put that in there,
It's
but
actually really hilarious.
I have heard very funny things and seen very funny things.
And for a fun fact, there's a movie coming out
as well.
too.
Wonderful. So be sure to check out that live action because those Japanese are just zany.
Same cast and crew.
All right. Lovely Complex. All right, this is a great show. It's pretty silly. Again, this is really comedy heavy. There's no real main focus like music or host clubs. This is just school romance and hilariousness. What's it about? Well, Risa's a really tall girl. Like, she's taller than me and probably taller, about as tall as a basketball player, I'm sure. Otani is really short, like probably here, here somewhere in this general area. So in their school, they're kind of known as the comedic duo. They're known as the comedic duo because she's really tall, he's really short, and they get mad at each other and they're rivals. When they start going to school together, they're like, well, we need to get boyfriends and girlfriends, so let's team up and try and get the ones that we're interested in. And so they do that. But they kind of find out along the way that maybe they're both best suited for each other. Who knows? Romantic elements coming into play. Risa, what can I say? She's really tall, she's impulsive and strong-willed, and she will always go for it. Otani, meanwhile, is very short, but he's very proud. He was on the basketball team. He sometimes does his hair up like a girl, I don't know why. Keep it out of his eyes, I guess. It's kind of funny. His ex-girlfriend broke up with him, which is one reason why he sends a girl out of sight, because she went for a taller boyfriend. Why would I like it? Well, it's funny. It's really funny. It's about Ouran level funny, to be honest with you. It's primarily a comedic title, but like I said, there's romantic elements since it's mostly about their love life and how they deal with that. There are some very touching scenes. There's a fireworks scene that's wonderful. I don't want to spoil anything, but you will feel the emotions. Here's a quick trailer. Great, where can I get it? Well, the anime's not licensed in America, but Viz has licensed to the manga, so tell them that you want to see the anime or read the manga. I'm personally a fan of it animated, even though the manga is longer. I just love seeing the characters move, and it's probably more funny, to be honest with you. But there's also a live-action Japanese movie which is available for Viz, and I'm sure that's hilarious. As we've already talked, live-action movies are probably funny. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to run through this one really quick. Skippy, this is a good show. Again, this is very funny. And again, the main theme is going to be startup, acting, specifically. What's it about? Well, Kyoko was a 16-year-old girl who was kind of timid, and she had this boy that she really liked, and she worked for him and moved to Tokyo with him and just worked with like 3 jobs for this guy. And one day, she overhears a conversation, and it apparently turns out that he is just using her, and she is crushed. But she will not be defeated. She is determined to beat him in the world of stardom. He is trying to be a male idol, and so she tries to be a female actor idol, and that turns to be very interesting because she completely changes her character. She goes from very timid with brunette hair to crazy girl with pink hair, and it's really awesome and fun. I'm gonna skip straight to the trailer so you guys can see a bit about it. It's really fun.
私は京子。幼馴染の少女の夢が叶うなら私のことなんかってよくも私の人生をもてあそんでくれたわね。復讐してやる。絶対芸能界でスターになってあんたのプライドを国家基準に打ち砕いてやるんだから覚悟しなさい翔太郎。新番組「スキップビート」10月5日日曜深夜2時スタート。
Okay, so where can I get it? Well, the anime is not licensed, but it does stroll. Go check it out. The manga's also available for biz. Tell them you want to see DVDs, because I sure do. That wraps it up. I would love to ask you about your favorites and your suggestions, but I'm out of time. If you have one you want to mention really quickly, I will let you. Raise your hand. Go. Also good? Go.
I was just going to say that.
All right, go. Zero and Skyma. Good one. All right, so other shows, of my opinion, Cardcaptor Sakura, Spice and Wolf, Ouran Star Racers, which is probably never heard of, but is very awesome. It's a French-Japanese. It's French-Japanese co-production, actually. So thanks for coming. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to email me, zoe9000@gmail.com, or hit me up on my anime list, zoe9000, or find me on Facebook. I am happy to talk with you more about shoujo. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. Love you all.